Hi Toronto, thank you for coming out tonight to watch my movie Godzilla Final Wars. I'm the director Ryuhei Kitamura, and thank you for my friend Peter to organize this cool screening after 14 years since the movie came out. I'm very honored and I wish I were there, but I cannot be there, so Peter asked me to give you a video intro, but I thought that it's just too boring just to say hi, enjoy the movie, that's it. So I thought about talking a little bit more about the movie, but this movie came out in 2004, which is 14 years ago. I don't really remember anything. So I look into my bookshelf and look what I found. Hey, this cool Japanese for kids, Godzilla magazine, making of, and the cool Japanese movie program. So I'm just gonna look through these and talk about whatever comes up in my mind. So this movie came to me year 2003, right after I did this samurai movie called Azumi for Toho, and Toho loved the movie, and Mr. Tomiyama, who is the big producer of Godzilla franchise, wanted to meet me. And first thing he said at the meeting was, Mr. Kitamura, are you interested in getting up on the ring of Godzilla franchise? So I said, hell yeah, but are you willing to put me on the Godzilla ring? And he said he wants to. So we talked about a lot of things, what do we want to do, because Toho already decided that this is gonna be the final Godzilla movie. Of course they lie, but 15 years ago they decided they wanted to stop for a while. So this will be the final Godzilla movie. This will be the 50th anniversary Godzilla movie. And so Mr. Tomiyama had some big vision of what kind of movie he wants to do. Obviously he wanted to do the biggest movie, and he wanted to do something very different. That's why he was interested in bringing me on board as a director. So we talked about a lot of things on the very first meeting. I'm very straightforward guy, so I told him what I love about Godzilla and what I don't love about the recent Godzilla franchise movie. And after a couple hours of nice, passionate discussion, he thought that I was the one. So it was very, as a Japanese filmmaker, it was, of course, honor to get to have a chance to direct the Godzilla movie. So I was very passionate, and I gave almost a year and a half of my life to this movie. So at the very beginning, we didn't even have the title Godzilla Final Wars. There was some rumor about, we just simply call Godzilla, or I don't know, there must be like 20 titles, but sorry, I don't remember any of it. And Mr. Tomiyama had this vision of he wants to do something with like greatest hits of Godzilla movie, which I loved. So as we were talking about the story, script, we brought in all kinds of Godzilla figures, the monster figures, kaiju figures, and we had to choose which monster is gonna be in this movie. And then at the same time we try to come up with what is the storyline to justify this all monsters gonna fight against Godzilla. So a very early stage we came up with the idea that what if we just bring back Exilians and let the bad alien control the monster and unleash the monsters, and humans try to fight back, but they can't because they're very busy fighting against the alien, and they can't really handle the monsters. So the strongest monster they have on planet Earth is obviously Godzilla. So why why they don't just go wherever Godzilla is sleeping, wake the fuck him up and let the Godzilla take care of the monsters while the humans fighting against the alien. So that was the basic storyline we came up with. It took like months even to get to that point, and so that's what we did. And then Godzilla Final Wars, it had like 4 different units, which is my unit, special effects man in suit monster unit, then oversee unit, and second unit. So we had a big production team with 4 different units. So I had to collaborate closely with Mr. Asada, who was the director on the special effect. And that's another thing I decided at the very early on, that I really want to go man in suit, old school way, because I knew that whenever they restart Godzilla franchise, it's going to be the CGI movie anyway. So and I knew that Toho was about to shut down this giant water pool inside their studio, so I really wanted to do old school man in suit before the era is gone. So I had to work closely with Mr. Asada. So what I did next was, I did the entire storyboard, which is very rare for me, because when I do live action movie, I don't really do storyboard. I don't need it. I improvise everything on the set, and I don't even do the shot list, and I shoot very fast, so I don't really need it. But to share the vision, I had to do it. So I brought in this amazing storyboard team. This is the team I worked with on this amazing franchise, Metal Gear Solid. I directed this all the 4 hours of movie scene for Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, and these storyboard artists, there were like 3 different storyboard artists who worked for me, and they did amazing job. So I brought them back to do the entire storyboard for the monster scene. And I worked closely with Mr. Asada to capture the new, add some new taste of the Godzilla fighting. And the first thing I said to them was, I really want to do this more like a street fight, like a mixed martial arts kind of fight. Godzilla has to beat up every other monsters. So the special effect team had to reinvent the Godzilla suit so that the stunt actor can move fast and do the movement that I want. So and they did an amazing job. And while we were doing that, we started working on the designs of monsters. And all those famous monsters like, Radon, Anguirus, they are easy one because we already knew what it was. But the hard one was this monster called Monster X, the final big boss, which is this one. So I really wanted the best artist to design. So I went to this, he's like my brother, Terada Katsuya. He's a legendary illustrator, manga artist, and I went to his house and we were talking about this, and I told him the same thing. This is the final showdown, so I really want this, this athlete kind of, fighting style. But I also knew that the final big enemy, last boss, should be King Ghidorah. So I was asking Mr. Terada that, come up with a design that it is the King Ghidorah but still can fight. So Terada-san said that, it's impossible to do that. So what if we start with like this, standing, like a, with 2 legs, then so that he can fight, MMA style. Then later transform into Ghidorah, Kaiser Ghidorah. And I heard that and I said, like, bro, that's a fucking great idea, but you said it, so you have to do it for the price of one. And he did it in the end. So I'm very glad that you know, we had the two monsters for the final showdown, and the other one I really wanted to focus was Gigan, which is my favorite. So I went to this another legendary artist, Mr. Nirasawa, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and I was a big fan of him, and I went to him and I asked, you know, you need to redesign Gigan and Exilium, and he did. So like 2 years after the movie came out, Gigan became so popular, so they were doing a bunch of, you know, action figures and statues, and, you know, the Japanese, this metallic, you know, figure thing, and this one came out. This is Gigan, this trigger version, which is red and black. And when I bought it, you know, Toho never gonna give me one, so I had to buy them myself. But I was like, Nirasawa-san, why didn't you come up with this cool color when we were making the movie? You know, I mean, maybe if I get rich, you know, I buy the rights from Toho and I will recolor Gigan to this color, maybe. But this is my favorite Gigan. You know, unfortunately, he doesn't look like this in the movie, but still, he kick ass. So anyway, so we were working on the script and the design and the storyboard, and, you know, the shooting was, like I said, 4 units all over the world. Took us 3.5 months, and it was a blast. You know, it was you know, very. It was like one of the dream come true moment. Entire shoot, because you are making a fucking Godzilla movie, so that was fun. Of course, you know, every movie making is a challenge, and, you know, I had to deal with the challenge every single day, but still, you know, I was very happy making that movie. And yeah, so I can talk about this movie forever, but, you know, I know that you guys have to watch the movie, and I've been talking already maybe too long. So one thing I wanted to do was, like, you know, when this movie came out back in 2004, especially in Japan, it was like, you know, half of the audience loved it, half of the like, hardcore fans hated it. So it wasn't become a big hit as we all wanted to, and it was heartbreaking for me. You know, I'm very proud of this movie, and I did my best, and I thought that I was able to bring some new blood, new DNA to Godzilla franchise. But this movie wasn't received well as we all wanted. So it was heartbreaking at the time, but, you know, then the years passed, and still, even now, say every few months I get a request from all over the world, you know, to do the interview. And they did the screening in Japan a couple months ago, and now Peter is doing this cool screening in Toronto, which is my favorite town. So especially this movie is getting more popular and popular outside Japan, and that gives me a lot of energy. You know, that gives me a lot of energy to move on. Like I said, movie making doesn't matter what size it is or where do you make it. Movie making is a hard job, and sometimes, you know, even me, I feel like, you know, well, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But the fans like you all over the world gives me the passion, you know, adds some gasoline to my soul fire, so that I can, you know, stand up again, get into another ring, and, you know, try to make better movie. So I really appreciate, you know, thank you so much for coming tonight. So you know, after 14 years, you guys still come out and come to the screening of my movie, which is amazing. Thank you for giving me wonderful life, and enjoy the movie. Thank you so much. Next time I'll be there. See you soon. Thank you.